Hi, I'm DK Will, and this is DK Will Talk About It. And I'm going to do a brief video here in regards to Ripple, XRP, primarily Brad Garlinghouse, and his ability to predict the future. And he's not alone. Other executives like David Schwartz have predicted the future. And for those who are in tune to what they're saying, you get an idea of what's happening, because I believe there's some type of code out there where they have to tell us what's really happening, and they do. And that even goes into the Mr. Pools and the Mr. Loop and all that stuff as well. But let's get started, and I'm going to show you how we can see those predictions come true and maybe have a little bit more elaboration after that. So let's do this.
Check the mic and make sure it sounds right.
Now, I hope the mic sounds right. My last video, I didn't hear that. But those of you who are here for your return visit, you know that what I'm referring to. If it's your first time, thank you for stopping by. Please come back, like, subscribe. But let's take a look at how in this November 2018 Singapore FinTech Festival, Brad Garlinghouse made a lot of predictions. And this is actually the prediction portion of the show. And the reason I'm doing this video is to show us how they tell us in advance what's going on, what we can anticipate, what might happen. They pretend like they don't know, but it's all planned. No different when David Schwartz said, they come 2 years later suing you, and we met with you every week, and now you're acting like you didn't know what we were doing. That one, I don't have that one in this video, but let's listen in and I'll walk you through this. Here we go.
So my prediction, about 1 year ago, I actually was here at the Singapore FinTech Festival, and I got in trouble when I went back to the office because the PR team said I had overstepped by predicting that within a year, I predicted that financial institutions like banks would be using XRP in their payment flows. And that was a year ago that I made that prediction, and I go back to the office and everybody was like, Brad, you're not allowed to say things like that. It turns out I was right.
It turns out I was right. This article, banks that use Ripple. As a matter of fact, it can be said that there's only one bank that uses XRP with the XRapid product, and it is the Euro Exim Bank, a bank based in the United Kingdom. Okay, was this within the year? This does not exclude that during this 2019, there may be other banks that choose to follow the example of Euro Exim Bank. So within a year of that prediction, Mr. Garlinghouse was right.
Which I remind the team of. So now as I look forward a year from now, like what are the things that are hard for us to imagine being true? And not even specific to Ripple or to XRP's community. I think one of the things that will surprise us a year from now is that banks will be custodying digital assets directly.
Oh my goodness, banks will be custodying digital assets directly. It's not quite within that year time frame, but here in July of 2020. Keep in mind, that was the end of 18 that he said that, November. Federally chartered banks and thrifts may custody services for crypto assets. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency today published a letter clarifying national banks and Federal Savings Association's authority to provide cryptocurrency custody service for customers. And in a Forbes article, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Filecoin, Litecoin, Orchid, Algorand, and Bitcoin Cash are 8 cryptocurrencies now available for purchase directly from a FDIC insured checking account if you are a customer of Vast Bank. According to the CEO, Brad Scrivener, the bank's move into offering crypto was approved by the OCC, but also included discussions with the Federal Reserve as well. Vast Bank is now the first federally chartered bank in the U.S. to offer the ability to buy, sell, and custody cryptocurrencies directly from a checking account, all under one roof. This article, folks, is a little bit newer. This was September of this year that we're in, this month actually that we're in. It is a sign of things to come that are pretty much already here. What else we got, Brad, in your crystal ball?
And I think right now we think about that and think, look, there's no way that's going to happen. They're too conservative. And I think what you're seeing is, two things happening. One is banks are seeing that a lot of money is being made by digital asset exchanges globally. And
check out my prior videos. I do have an XRP playlist. I'm not quite sure which video addresses. I believe it's follow the money means follow the banks, that addresses the banks noticing the money being made and responding accordingly.
And banks are profit motivated. The second, and as we've talked about up here, certainly Ross has made very clear, is regulatory clarity and regulatory frameworks enable banks and financial institutions to lean into these markets. And I think we will surprise ourselves by this time. And by the way, I'll also predict that it will be banks in the ASEAN markets where there is this regulatory clarity and there is a lot of progressive forward thinking. They'll be the first to actually allow for crypto assets custody in their accounts.
Brad, how are you so good at what you do? Ripple partners with Bhutan to launch a CBDC, a central bank digital currency, September 23rd. Notice that flag? And earlier in my intro, you remember I said that it seems like they have some kind of code where they have to tell us about the arrangements that they're going to do. And so they do tell us way in advance, March 2020, of what they're going to do, June 2021. It's weird, but it's true. And Bhutan, partners with Bhutan, is most certainly an ASEAN country. And let's get just a little bit more of this and we'll be done.
All right, with that, we'll turn it over to questions. And I see a bunch of questions on this screen, which I can't really read from here, but we're supposed to pick some. Can you see those? Oh, there's 2 votes.
Let me try.
Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? Oh, they're over here. That's easier. You want to take one? Go for it. The first one's for you. IMF. Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? I did not put that up there.
Remember, I'm from the legal department. I'm supposed to be very conservative about these things. I don't want to go into great details about
Maybe
the
I
IMF.
should take what the IMF is going to do. I think we stunned Ross into silence with that one.
For that to happen, okay, under the current legal framework, some country would have to use a crypto asset as its currency.
Which goes to the...
Well, isn't that something? Some country would have to use crypto assets as its currency. They're not guessing, folks. They're telling us in advance. And the reason I'm doing this video is just to do a brief highlight of how they're telling us in advance. And then that brief highlight of how they're telling us in advance, I'm hoping to encourage all of us to look back on some of the things that were said, because how's it go? Future proves past. Well, the past also proves the future. And so that's all I got on this video. And if you wonder how sometimes the things said are accurate, it's because of tuning in to things like this and tuning out of the mainstream narrative and media. I encourage you to do so. I'm DK Will. This is DK Will Talk About It. I've talked about it. Have a wonderful day.